All right, thanks for coming. In case anyone didn't notice, we do have some materials that are on the table out there in the lobby. We have the booklet for public evangelism under the First Amendment out there. We also have it in a larger size, thanks to our printer who made a mistake. They were supposed to print these. They gave me a box of these, which is great because I didn't have to pay for these. So this is our large print, wide margin version. It's the same book, same materials, but those are available out there. And we also have a little case sheet information on public evangelism, and in particular in permitted events, which is where very often we have trouble. And I'll be talking about that more during the program, but this is just a little summary of information which you can use, pull it out of your pocket and show it to the police officer or the event organizer when they're trying to tell you that you don't have the right to be there. So that's available for you. We also have an outline of today's program, so you can have that in order to follow where we are in the program, and or if you wanted to take any notes. And then there's also some Bible study materials. We've got Why is the Call Neglected? And we've got a couple of study guides that Brother James had put together. Those are also available out there. And so praise the Lord. I'm glad to have a group of people that are interested in public evangelism and interested in the law and wanting to do things the right way and wanting to hopefully keep ourselves out of trouble and avoid conflicts that are unnecessary conflicts. A little bit of background: I've been attending this church since 1994. We had our own, through Bible Baptist Church, we've had our own issues with various municipalities because of our public evangelism outreach. We've had conflicts starting with the city of Mount Dora in 2002, and over the years we've had issues with DeLand and Daytona Beach and Port Orange and many other places. And so I was prompted to do some research on First Amendment law in order to deal with those issues. And then since Brother James goes around the country and so many other pastors and churches know him and know of this ministry, when they had similar problems with local officials that they were dealing with, they would contact him and say, "We know you do a lot of public evangelism. We've had this problem come up. What do you suggest? What should we do?" And he would usually refer them to me, and I would try to help them through those problems and contact the local police chief or city attorney or whoever needed to be contacted in order to try to do that. And then at one point, my wife suggested to me, why don't we go ahead and make a ministry out of this and let people know that I'm available to try to help with that. And she doesn't tell me what to do, but I know a good idea when I hear one. So, or a lot of times I know a good idea after I've heard it and had time to think about it. And so that's what we did. And we had the big economic downturn in 2008, 2009, 2010, which resulted in me having a lot of time on my hands because business was slow, and was able to really get a lot of research done, and we got that First Amendment booklet put together, and that has been a help to many people. I did it in part to help myself because the same issues keep coming up over and over again, and I had all this research in different areas of First Amendment law, and it was helpful to me to put it together in a way where I can look for the appropriate issues and have the case law there and be able to deal with local officials. So that's part of it, but it's also to help evangelists know what your rights are and what can get you in trouble and how to understand all that, and also to use as a tool with other people that we're dealing with, police departments and county managers and people like that, who need to know most of the problems, in my experience, most of the problems that we have with people's First Amendment rights being violated when they're doing public evangelism is because of ignorance. The police and the city attorney and the city council typically are not well-versed in First Amendment law, and they just don't know any better, and so they start taking some action that they think is appropriate under the circumstances, and it's not, and we can show them very clearly from the case law, from what the Supreme Court has said and what the federal courts have said, to show them that what they're doing is inappropriate and illegal and unconstitutional, and usually by reasoning with them, we're able to resolve any problem and end up with assurances, yes, your people can go ahead and do what they were setting out to do, and we will not interfere with them, we'll leave them alone, which is that's the result that we want. There are other public interest law firms, there are organizations that will help you if you have had your rights violated and you want to bring a lawsuit against the city or the police department or whomever. There are other organizations that do that, but at the time we started this ministry, I wasn't aware of any organization that really was devoted to trying to help people on the front end before they have an issue with that, get people educated to know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, and trying to work people through conflicts that they have with local governments rather than just come at the end and say, let's go ahead and file a lawsuit. There are other people that do that, and our focus, our purpose is to get the gospel out. And rather than be tied up in years of litigation over a First Amendment issue, in my view, it's more efficient, it's more effective to try to solve the problem as quickly as possible and let our people be back out there on the street, in the park, in a public venue, and getting the gospel out. So that's what our approach is, and that's the background.